Fox 10 Gulfstream. This is Next Weather.
So it's next weather time, and the cool news is we've got the weekend here, and we've got some great weather this weekend and some neat things to track and keep an eye on with the solar eclipse. And we've got a mild evening tonight. We'll see a few clouds around, some patchy fog. We expect temperatures in the 60s, real sunny developing with the exception of that eclipse, and some clouds passing by early Saturday morning. The cooler temps build in quite a bit Saturday night and Sunday, so we will feel fall coming in, and it's almost here. We've got some drier air already getting closer to us on the water vapor loop, and that's going to help mix some of the clouds out. A little passing front will move through tomorrow, and that could bring a few scattered clouds. So you see how we clear off a little tonight, and we have some low clouds and fog, and then we see tomorrow right around lunchtime perhaps a few passing clouds in the area. We'll clear out into the afternoon. It looks like a decent day on Sunday, although we may see some clouds, especially in the inland parts of the area. I don't expect rain with this type of setup, but we will have some moisture and a few scattered clouds. All right, we got that eclipse coming up here, and you know, we're talking about it peaking around noontime. More on that coming up with Nicholas here on Next Weather. I want to switch gears and show you what's going on along the ITCZ, the Intertropical Convergence Zone. We've got one feature that has a good chance of developing. Sean is a tropical storm, but Sean's about to fall apart. It's getting sheared heavily, so the next focus will be on something here off the Cape Verde Islands that will be low in latitude and marching across the Atlantic. Odds of development 80%. You can see that Sean prognosis looks to be dissipating by tomorrow. Here's the forecast for your Saturday, and temperatures around 65, climbing up to about 75 by 10 o'clock, and then in the low 80s into the afternoon. We might see the temperatures dip slightly during the peak of the eclipse tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see if that transpires. Our rain chances real low. They do jump up to 50% on Friday. That'll be our next opportunity for rain. So Saturday will feature a partial solar eclipse, and you know, it's something that just doesn't happen very often. So let's get the scoop on that with Nicholas.
All right, thank you so much, Jason. So yes, our solar eclipse is happening on Saturday. I wanted to break down kind of the big picture for you, what's happening across the nation. So that area that you see there, that little 90%, that is the path of what we call annularity. It's essentially going to be very close to around 90% coverage, a central ring of fire, if you will, around the sun, where the moon is moving in front of the sun and blocking it. For us, it's going to be around a 60% coverage, 66% for us, but you see it goes all the way up to 80% as you get close to Texas. So what's going on with this? What's happening here? Well, the moon is moving in front of the sun, and it casts a couple different types of shadows. One of them, the penumbra, is the wider shadow. It's the partial shadow. It's the one that we will see. And then in a total eclipse, you get the full shadow, which is the umbra. So a couple different shadows happening there. We're going to be in the penumbra, that partial shadow there. Now, when does the partial eclipse begin? 10:37 a.m. for us. There might be some clouds around, so we'll be watching it closely. Maximum eclipse, 66.6%. That is 66.6% of the sun's surface area covered by the moon. Then the partial eclipse, it ends at 1:47 p.m. I want to show you Futurecast real quick, and this is, I'm going to go slowly through this version of Futurecast. This is with the graph model. 9 a.m. Saturday, you see these clouds. That's that cold front Jason was talking about. Well, that's going to come our way. 11 o'clock in the morning, it looks like we could have some clouds around. And this is 12 noon, right at the peak. Even just a few spotty clouds, probably some cumulus clouds mixed in with some high clouds. So it looks like, kind of depending on where this front is at noon exactly, maybe the western half of our area has the best chances for seeing this eclipse. And then by 1 o'clock, it's moving across the I-65 corridor, then out. I'm going to switch forecast models now. We're going to switch to the HRRR. This is another high-resolution model. And we can see 10:30, a coverage of clouds along the front there. By noontime, it's pretty much in the same spot, right along I-65, a mix of lower clouds and higher clouds. And then by 3 o'clock, it starts to move out of the area. So sadly, it's in the Mobile area right when this happens, which hopefully we can get some peaks of blue sky so you can actually get out and see this thing. And if you happen to be making your way up to Tuscaloosa to watch this football game here, Alabama versus Arkansas, you will also get a chance to see the solar eclipse. And that's not the only game. I have the list pulled up. Some of the 11 a.m. kickoffs. Georgia at Vanderbilt, you might be able to see a partial coverage there. In Indiana, Michigan, you'll have lesser coverage here. They're in much lesser coverage than we are here in Alabama. This game's at around 50% there. And then once you go up to Michigan, you're at like 20%. And then, of course, the Temple in North Texas, that one in Texas, closest to where the annularity is. So that one, it's going to get a little bit darker. All those games were 11 o'clock kickoffs. So I want to review real quick, what is the safe practice here? Get solar eclipse viewing glasses. Sunglasses will not do the trick. You actually need solar approved glasses. There are a couple areas you might be able to find them. Public Library in Mobile, I believe, has one. You can look it up online. Also, maybe make a few phone calls to a few stores to see if they have them. Jason?
All right, as we look at our 7-day forecast, Nicholas, here's what we're seeing, and we've got that cooler blast of air. And look at the lows next week. Get ready for some mornings in the 40s. The kids will need jackets before school and that kind of thing. And you might even need them in the middle of the day. Monday's high only 68 degrees, so we are trending towards fall. Next rain chance comes in on Friday. Thanks for joining us here on Next Weather.